What's up? It's Portia. Welcome to my YouTube channel. If you're new, hi. Subscribe if you like. Y'all, I cannot believe it's already August. And August to me means my kid is back in school. Mind blown. To think of it being how many years has he been doing it now? This is 5th grade, so 6 years. His 6th year, right? Right? Yeah, his 6th school year. It's kind of crazy to me. Everything seems to be moving so quickly, and to see how he continues to progress each and every single day, each and every single school year, it baffles my mind. And I'm just mind blown. One thing I always say I'm grateful for is the fact that I'm able to witness my kid grow. And on the topic of growing, as he gets older, I've come across some comments that certain people have been making or certain people have been saying when it comes to children being children. I think some people expect some of our kids to go through the same thing that we went through. If you had a really difficult upbringing, like me, my upbringing wasn't amazing. It was a very hard life. I didn't have the type of life that my son has now. The love, the affection, the nurturing that he has. I wasn't given that. You know what I'm saying? At the age of 10 is when I came into the United States, and when I came here, I believe I was expected to act as if I was more grown and more mature than I was. I think sometimes people tend to forget that children should continue to be children. That's why they're children for a reason. You don't need to force the child to be an adult right away because they're 10, they're 11, they're 12, they're 13. They're still a child. And it's your job to make sure that they remain a child, that they remain in that innocent mindset that they have until life happens. You know what I'm saying? Until they get older, and then you're able to open them up to more and more things. I don't believe in making kids feel much more grown than they are. At 10 years old, you should be playing with your toys. You should be playing your games. We should continue to have bedtime activities and things like that. I should be able to help you tie your shoes. Those are the things that I wish I had growing up. When I look back at the age of 10, I wish I had my mom there, just helping zip my clothes up, putting my jewelry on me, having a shoulder to cry on when I'm sad, holding me when I'm going through something, freely expressing myself without being told how bad of a child I am, not being beaten constantly because I'm trying to navigate through whatever it is that I'm navigating through. I don't like when people make it seem as if when you show your child a lot of love, a lot of affection, when you're nurturing, people make it seem as if your child is going to grow up and be spoiled and rotten, or they're not going to survive in the world because you're not being so tough on the kid. Oh my gosh, what if he grows up and... Let me tell you something. Being tougher on your kids most likely will lead your kids into things that they have no business being in. Being tough on me led me outside. Because if I can't feel safe, protected, and guarded at home, what makes me think that outside is going to be any better? At least outside I'm free to do whatever the heck I want to do and not be beaten or go through whatever consequence that I'm going to face. Let's normalize showing affection to our kids. Let's normalize being helpful to our kids. Let's normalize allowing the children to be children. At the age of 10, I'm not expecting my son to come and cook me a meal. At the age of 10, I'm not expecting him to know everything in the world. At the age of 10, I still expect him to make mistakes, to do things that 10-year-olds do. Be a kid. We live in a society where children are forcing themselves to be adults. You don't have to be an adult when you're a child. The things that adults think about, paying bills, dealing with all these extra things going on in the world, mental stability, this, providing for the child, you know what I mean? Solving problems. That's not a kid's duty to come and do all that. Definitely not my child. My job is to make sure that my child remains a child, that he enjoys his childhood to the fullest. And even with the limited resources and things that I do have, I would like to think I've cultivated a life for him in a way where he doesn't feel like he's missing out on anything. And I'd be damned if somebody in this world thinks they're about to redo or undo everything that I've done to make my kid remember that he's a kid and try to force him to be an adult at 10. That's not gonna fly on my watch. I'm sorry, that's not, no. Nope, no. That's what we're not gonna do. We're gonna normalize the 10-year-olds being 10, 11-year-olds being 11, 9-year-olds being 9. Let's normalize that. Also, having a lot of experience in childcare, I've taken care of many, many, many kids from many, many, many different walks of life. They've been white, they've been black, they've been Asian, they've been Hispanics, different kids, from daycare to babysitting to nanny, you know what I mean? And I see the dynamics when it comes to the parenting and how certain people parent their children. And I've learned a lot from those different type of places and different cultures. And I pour that into my son. I see how certain people really like take their time to listen to the child. They take their time to pour into the child. When a child expresses interest in sports or music or whatever it is they express interest in, I see how much that they put effort into that child. They make the child feel very like loved, very cared for. I hear what you're saying. If you want to try it, let's try it. Let's see how it goes. I don't see them shutting the kid down or like belittling the kid because the kid didn't do this a certain way or a certain way. One thing that we're not going to do, especially when it comes to my kid, is tell him that because of this and this is why you're doing this and that. No. If you feel insecure about certain things that you had to deal with as a kid, don't bring that onto my kid. If you see my kid moving this way, don't think that he's not going to be a big somebody or he's going to be a horrible person as he grows up because of the way that I'm loving on him. Truth be told, not to toot my own horn, but my son is one of the most well-behaved children that anybody can come across. He's the most thoughtful, the most caring. In school, he's received awards for helping others, for being the one that you can always count on, because that's how I raise him. I raise him to be generous. I raise him to be kind. I raise him to be thoughtful. Think of somebody else instead of just yourself. If you see somebody struggling, how can I help them? If you see somebody needs help, be the first person to say, hey, how may I help? Open the door for someone if they need it to be open. Be kind. And just because he's a kind-hearted, kind-spirited boy doesn't mean he's going to grow up to be troublesome. No, that's the problem. Maybe if a lot of us actually received the love that we needed as children, we would understand what it means to pour that thing back into our kids. So at this stage, as he's getting older and he's growing up, I just want to make sure that I'm doing the best I can for my child. At the end of the day, I'm raising a human being that's going to be somebody who is going to be somebody great in this world, for this world. I'm starting to think now that my sole purpose being in this life is not just about me. I've been saying this for a couple of weeks now. I'm not here for me. I'm here because of him. I came to the country for him and for whoever that follows after him. You know what I mean? And I can't sit here and say I've spent the past 10 years, oh gosh, life has passed me by. No. The past 10 years, I've cultivated, poured, and done so much for this child, raising this child. If I didn't get to finish my education or continue my education in the past 10 years, I didn't get to get married in the past 10 years, I didn't get to travel the world like I wanted to once I got my green card, I didn't get to just do whatever job I felt like I could do because I'm free and But the greatest accomplishment for me within the past 10 years is being a mom to my son. That has been thus far the best thing that's happened to me, and I would not trade it for anything else. So for anybody to come and sit around and say that I'm being too nice or too this or too that to him, when I know how hard it is to be a parent to a kid in this day and age, I'm not even gonna listen to it anymore. Yes, let's go ahead and pour more into our kids and our loved ones. And it's okay to be sweet to your kid. It's not gonna harm them. Be nice. Of course, lay the ground rules. Let's be respectful. Let's be kind. Let's be thoughtful. But it's okay to be nice to your kid. So as my kid enters into this new chapter in life, after 10, that's it, 11, 12, 13, teenager. I'm just praying that I'm able to do the things that I can do to continue to be the mom that I can be. And God willing, when I do get somebody on my side or by my side as a partner, a husband, to help also guide him where he needs to be, I pray that everything goes well. But until then, allow your child to be a child. Do not take that away from them because it was taken away from you. Okay? Okay. Not me being mom right now. Mom mode. But yes, thank you for watching my video. I will definitely see y'all in the next one.